I am State Senator Bobby Powell coming to you with the second week of the Florida Legislative Session 2020. I started the week in the district down in Palm Beach County at the Palm Beach County Civic Center with the Martin Luther King Coordinating Committee of West Palm Beach for the annual scholarship breakfast. This was the 39th year that we held the scholarship breakfast in West Palm Beach, commemorating the memory and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. It was an excellent opportunity for us to get there in the district, to meet with some of the constituents, to talk about concerns concerning Dr. King, as well as concerns with the legislature. I returned to Tallahassee here on Tuesday to continue our legislative week with many of the legislative meetings, as well as meetings in the office with constituents, stakeholders, well-wishers, and people who are concerned with proposed legislation. This week I met with the property appraiser of Palm Beach County, property appraiser Dorothy Jacks, who is representing the Association of Property Appraisers for the state of Florida. She came to us to talk about and discuss the issue regarding portability and being able to take that and expand it to allow for 2 years for portability here in the state of Florida, so that people who are moving have that opportunity to come back into a home if they decide not to go directly into a home once they've moved. I also met with the leadership of the Junior League. Many of the members who are from Boca Raton, the Boca League, met with me to discuss some of the very, very important issues that they've been advocating and fighting for here in Tallahassee, and they'd like to see some changes with regard to legislation. I was happy and excited to sit down with the Junior League. I met with Dr. Susan Carastro from the Palm Beach Veterinarian Society to discuss the scope of practice for veterinarians and how they take care of your animals as well as mine. It's very, very important for us to have the opportunity to meet with Ms. Cynthia Cobb, the Executive Director of the Riviera Beach Library, on Library Day here in the Capitol, and we talked about and discussed the appropriations for state funding related to libraries, the creation and a building of a new library in the city of Riviera Beach, and what that means for the entirety of the state when it comes to libraries and how important they are. It was also Space Day at the Capitol here in Tallahassee, and for Space Day I met with some remarkable students from the Weiss School. I truly believe that they're changing the way that we look at outer space research, as well as things that we're doing with NASA here in the state of Florida. It was interesting to watch those students talk about launching CubeSats into the atmosphere in outer space. How exciting for us to have the opportunity to meet with young people who have such a vision for the future. It was also AKA Day at the Capitol. AKA stands for the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I met with members throughout the state, but very, very importantly, I met with the members representing Palm Beach County. The Palm Beach County chapter of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority came to discuss many of the ideas that they are advocating here in terms of state legislation, and it's so great to have the opportunity to see them fighting for criminal justice reform, clean air, clean water, as well as a clean bill of health for the state of Florida. Some of the appropriations that we've fought for include some of the things that the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated have indicated were their budgetary priorities as well.
It is AKA Day at the Capitol, and Senate District 30 is represented strongly. Still in the East Gallery from Palm Beach County, Senate District 30, you have Priscilla Pernier, Ella Gilbert.
We wrapped up the second week of legislative session with the Florida Legislative Black Caucus Week. Things started on Thursday night with the chairman's reception at the Doubletree Hotel on the rooftop. Then on Friday, we had a scholarship luncheon, or was the Cherry Kershaw luncheon, that celebrated some of the recipients of the scholarship. The speaker there was Gwendolyn Bingham, who is a lieutenant general in the Army. She's, I think, one of two lieutenant generals in the Army as a female African American, to celebrate that. And then on Friday night, we celebrated the 27th annual scholarship gala. The theme was Harlem Nights. It was so exciting to be there. We honored our students here in Tallahassee by presenting $75,000 worth of scholarships to the students, who some are serving here in the legislature as interns, and some or students throughout Tallahassee. It was an exciting time for us to be able to award and reward those students, because they are the reason that we are here. Florida Legislative Black Caucus Week wrapped up on Saturday with a number of events. It was so exciting to see members of our community come from throughout the state to celebrate with us here. That wraps up the second week of the legislative session for 2020, and what an exciting week it was. I can't wait for you all to join us next week as we discuss the third week of the 2020 legislative session. I'm excited to be doing a lot of great things here in Tallahassee and excited to bring those things to you. Remember this, a life of service is a life that counts. We'll see you next week.